Hi, welcome to our Let's Learn Futures webinar series. This webinar series is brought to you by Bursa Malaysia and managed by our company Excellent. Now, our topic for this evening, pathway to full-time trading, becoming a professional traders. And our session for this evening is going to have 90 minutes. The first 60 minutes, I will be covering the content, and remaining 30 minutes will be the Q&A session. Now, before I start, can you please check whether you can see my slides? You can hear my voice or not? If you can see my slides, you can hear my voice, can you please just type in the chat box 555. I repeat, if you can see my slides, you can hear my voice, can you please just type in the chat box 555. Very good. Or you can put the emoticon as well, or the emoji. Very good. Now we're going to start with our session. Now, before we continue, please make sure that you off your video because video is going to take up a lot of the bandwidth. So for a better learning environment, it is advisable for you to off your video. How do you off your video? At the bottom, just make sure that it is off. Please do not on your video. Along my presentation, if you have any question, you can ask your question at any point in time. You do not need to wait until the end of my session. Then only you start to ask your question. Now, how do you ask a question? At the bottom, if you're using laptop or desktop, at the bottom, you can click on the three dots. Subsequently, you click on Slido, and you just need to type in your question at the Q&A box. I repeat, at the bottom, you click on the three dots, you click on Slido, and you just type in your question. Now, for those who are using tablet or you're using mobile phone, there's an advanced tab. You just need to click on the advanced tab, then you are able to ask me any question. Now, you do not need to wait until the end of the session. First thing. Second thing, please do not ask your question in the chat box. I repeat, please do not ask your question in the chat box because I might miss out your question if it is in the chat box. Now, not only for today's session, upcoming, every Tuesday, we are going to have different topics covered by different speakers in different language as well. You can see, like, for example, next Tuesday, we are going to have this topic on mastering risk management in futures trading, strategies to protect and profit, and followed by the subsequent Tuesday, which will be on the global vegetable oil market outlook, meaning you need to know the competitors of crude palm oil and what are their market outlooks, because it is going to affect our crude palm oil as well. So you're going to have this topic, global vegetable oil market outlook, a macro outlook beyond palm oil. And the subsequent week, the last week of May, we are going to have a Malay topic on bagaimana menggunakan MACD, RSI, dan stokastik dalam perdagangan pasaran niaga hadapan, and followed by the week of Mandarin topics. Any topics that you are interested, please scan this QR code. You can use your mobile phone, scan this QR code, and please register first. Because once you register, you get the confirmation email. You can mark it on your calendar and you can remember to attend as well. So there are two ways for you to register. Either you scan this QR code or else in the chat box. Our admin already put up the link. You can click on the link or you can save the link first, save it somewhere, and at the end of the session, you can start to register for the respective topics. Now, not only Let's Learn Futures webinar series, Bursa Malaysia also have a series of Let's Learn Futures online workshop. But this online workshop is not suitable for all participants. This online workshop is only meant for those who really seriously wanted to get yourself started in futures trading, or you already started in futures trading, but just started maybe a few months, less than a year. This online workshop topics is definitely for you. We are going to handhold you to understand from A to Z until you are able to trade your first futures contract, because those topics comes with trading simulation session. You're going to experience by yourself how do you trade futures. So for online workshop 1, the complete guide for beginners to futures trading and trading simulation, it will be a 3 hours in the morning session, and online workshop 2, how to create an effective futures trading plan and trading simulation, will be afternoon session as well. Similar things, you can scan this QR code to register, And for this particular online workshop session, we are going to take in 130 registration, but on the day itself, we only limit to the first 50 online attendees. You can see that really very focused group because this is an online workshop. And for those who are going to register for 17 May, I strongly encourage you to register as soon as possible because the class is going to be full soon. And if you can't make it on 17, you can register for the subsequent class in June. Every month, we are going to have different series in different topics as well. For example, in July, we are going to have it in Malay. Now, before we are going to start today's topics, I just need to do a quick disclaimer. Our topic for today is only meant for education purposes. There's no buy or sell call. Now, before I start, please allow me to have a fast introduction about myself, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Ting Ting. You can call me by my name, Ting Ting. I prefer you call me by my name, Ting Ting. If you do not know how to type my name, don't worry. You can type T-I-N-G, T-I-N-G. It is okay. Don't worry about it. Now, my forte is definitely in trading and investing. Since day one, I'm in this industry. I already involved myself in trading and investing in stocks and futures. I have nearly 20 years of experience in both trading and investing. And currently, I'm an approved speaker under Bursa Malaysia and also a speaker under CPE. We provide training and coaching for those license holders like fund managers, research analysts, remisers, and also futures brokers. We also provide some in-house training for those listed companies as well. Now, for this book, Jumpstart in Stocks and Futures Trading, if you are interested to kickstart your stocks or futures trading, this book is definitely meant for you because I wrote this book mainly for Malaysian. All the examples, all the strategies given are mainly for Malaysian, which is referring to Bursa Malaysia as well. And currently, we are at the 5th edition. You can grab it in any of the bookstores like Kinokuniya, Populars, Times, and also MPH, etc. So without further ado, let us start with our topic for today. Our topic for today, pathway to full-time trading, becoming a professional traders. We are going to divide it into 5 different topics. The first topic, we are going to look at redefining full-time trading. There's a lot of misconception and also myth regarding this full-time trading itself. Now, when it comes to topic 2, I'm going to show you some other option. Besides becoming a full-time trader, is there any other option that we can choose or not? Followed by topic 3, these are the 5 key requirements for going full-time as a trader. It serves like a checklist. Before you want to become a full-time trader, what are the requirements that you need to equip yourself before you become a full-time trader? Followed by topic 4, we are going to look at key knowledge and skills for professional trading. And we're going to end with the career path and opportunity in trading. But before I continue, please allow me to spell some context because this topic itself is quite wide. That's the reason why we need to restrict it a bit. If not, within 1 hour, seriously, I couldn't finish it. So today's content is focused exclusively or mainly on futures trading. That's the first part. Second part, we are going to focus in terms of speculators because there are a few methods or a few types of traders, for example, speculators, arbitragers, hedgers, etc. But our main focus will be on speculators. Now, the third part that we are going to focus is in terms for those traders who have the freedom to make their own trading decision, meaning they do not need to follow certain rules or certain instruction given by the institutional or the company itself. So these are my 3 contexts for us to kickstart the topics for today. Now, before I start, let me ask you the first question. Which of the following best describe your current trading decision, your current trading situation? Now, the first one is I'm a beginner and just exploring trading. Number 2, I trade part-time while working a full-time job. Number 3, I'm already trading full-time. And number 4, I want to start trading but don't know where to begin. So if your option is number 1, you just type in 1. If your answer is number 2, you just type in 2. If your answer is number 3, just type in 3. Now, let me know which one is your current trading situation. One sec. Let me look at your chat box. Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 is also a lot of you under 1 and 4. For 1 and 4, I strongly encourage you to join the online workshop, because the online workshop will really walk you through how do you want to become a futures traders, for example. And some of you are 2, majority of you are 2. I don't see, or did I miss out anything? Because the power message too fast. So it's very hard for me to see. Hold on a sec, yeah. Many of you between 1 to 4, some 2, only a handful on 3. It doesn't matter which one you are, at least you know where you are right now. And later I'll let you know why this is so important. So this is the first question. Now the second question that I'm going to ask you is, who here wants to become a full-time trader someday? It doesn't mean that it must be today, but you have the intention to become a full-time trader. If your answer is yes, just type in A. If your answer is no, you never have the intention to become a full-time trader, you just type in B. And if currently you're not sure, you can just type in C. Okay, I can see majority of you, if it's not all, at least whatever is being popped up at my side, what I can see is all A. I think that's the reason why you are joining this session, right? It's okay, because at least you know where is your status, or what is your intention. The more you have the intention, the clearer you have, it will be better. Now, we're going to start the first topics, redefining full-time trading, myth versus reality, because we have a lot of misconception about full-time traders as well. Now, before I continue with this topic, let me ask you another question. How many hours a day do you think a full-time trader actually spends trading? Number 1 is 1 to 2 hours. Option 2 is 3 to 4 hours, and option 3 is 7 hours plus, meaning more than 7 hours. Which one do you think a full-time trader actually spend trading? Don't worry, just participate. There's no right or wrong. But the answer is too fast. I can't read. Okay, majority of you selected 1. Some of you selected 2. Only a handful of you selected 3. Am I correct? Okay. Majority selected 1. Now, let me define this particular part also. This is the first misconception that many of us we have. For me, if I'm going to define a full-time traders, basically, you need to have more than 7 hours. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to spend all your 7 hours plus or 10 hours in terms of trading or looking at the market itself. But what I mean is you can spend 1 to 2 hours trading, but remaining of your time, you need to do other things that is related or other things that are related to trading. It can be, for example, you set up your trading system, you do your back testing, you set up your trading rules, you set out your trading strategies, etc. You read news related to the market itself, you do any analysis, or you read any books related to trading or investing. This is what we define as full-time traders. I know many of the advertisement or many of the TikTok, the videos showing you that as a full-time traders, you just need to spend 1 to 2 hours, or even some of them claims that you just need to spend 5 minutes per day. But to me, this is not the correct definition, or we shouldn't define ourselves as a full-time traders. Now, full-time traders, we have 2 key definitions. One is majority of your time it must be related to trading. So for example, if you categorize that you work for one day is about 8 hours. Out of these 8 hours, maybe you're trading 1 to 2 hours, but remaining of the 6 hours or 7 hours, you need to do anything related to trading. That's the first definition. Now, second definition for us to strictly define as a full-time traders is you must at least your income mainly coming from trading itself. I repeat, it might not be all your income, but mainly of your income must be generated from your trading or investing itself. Then only we can categorize you as a full-time traders. So I hope this is the first definition that we are trying to define exactly what is a full-time traders, because the market have this misconception and many of us we define it wrongly. And many also will look at the advertisement, social media, which portray a full-time traders having a very good life. That's the reason why we're having these topics to try to lead you to the correct direction. Now, we are going to start with this common myth and misconception about full-time trading. Mainly, this myth and misconception, there are too many. We can't cover all of them, but we are going to categorize 3 main areas. The first misconception is full-time trading is easy money. You can see that many of the advertisement on social media, they tell you that you just need to spend 5 minutes, you are able to generate per contract a few thousand. But is this true or not? Is this something, a place that easily for you to generate profit from trading itself, from investing itself or not? Now, second, more trades equivalents to profit. Layman perspective, if today I'm going to have more part-time job, I'm going to generate more salary, I'm going to generate more income. But give it a thought, when it comes to trading, is it that more trades, the more we trade, the more quantity that we enter, the more execution that we do, does it equals to more profit or not? Now, the third misconception is small capital is enough for you to trade as full-time, meaning that you can start with a small capital, very minimum capital is good enough for you to trade full-time. So even some of you require that half margin or even quarter margin for you to become a full-time trader. But does this concept correct or not? So this leads us to the second topics about it is reality of full-time trader. Now, number one is income is unpredictable. I'm going to explain to you in a short while. Number two is more trades doesn't equals to high profit. And number three is small capitals is going to give us a lot of limitation. Now, let me explain in details about income is unpredictable. First, like just now, I'm trying to use a layman's perspective to explain to you. We have the perception that, for example, if today I have more part-time job, definitely my income is going to increase. This is undeniable, meaning that if I'm going to increase my part-time job from 3 jobs to 4 jobs, definitely my income is going to increase. But for trading perspective, trading income, we can't have consistent return on monthly basis. None of us, we can do that. I repeat, none of us were able to generate consistent return on monthly basis. And even worse scenarios is some of the months you might be generating losses, and it might be a consecutive a few months of losses when it comes to trading. Meaning that the more hard work you put in, it doesn't mean that you can generate the necessary outcome. And why this is happening is because our income or the profit from the trading itself is very much relying on the market performance. Now, I'm trying to avoid or I'm trying to exclude your ability in trading. For example, if the market itself, that particular product itself is not going to move for that particular month, there's no way for you to generate income. There's no way for you to generate profit as well. And for example, certain different economic cycles, certain products, they are not moving. So if you're relying on that particular products as a full-time traders, you might not be able to generate the necessary return that you want. That's why our performance is really rely on the market, which is we are not able to control the market. We really need to understand that. Now, the second reality is more trades doesn't equals to high profit. Some of us, we have this misunderstanding that if the more we trade, the more we enter the trades, the more we execute our trades, we are able to generate the profit. But the truth is, this is not the scenarios. And I can tell you, for example, if I'm going to trade one contract, if you're going to trade 10 contracts, the chances is very high that my one contracts, my profit will be higher than your 10 contracts. Because hard work doesn't always lead to results. Like just now, the first one, I already highlighted to you. Market itself, whether we are able to generate the profit, is not within our control. We need to rely on the market itself. The market doesn't perform, no matter how good we are not able to perform as well. Now, second part, the more you trade, the chances for you to suffer error trades is higher. Because long hours of trading, you're going to lose your focus and a lot of errors will occur. And the more you trade, you're going to have discount all error trades. And a lot of the books, if you go and read, they give you the statistics to prove it to you that error trades can be very costly. Meaning initially, maybe you're having a very huge profit because of error trade, it reduces your profit tremendously. That's why error trade is going to be very costly, and the more you trade, you're going to pay a lot of commission as well, and you are exposed to high risk. Now, before I move into the reality number 3, let me ask you a question. If we were to start your trading journey as a full-time trader today, how much trading capital would you prepare? Now, A, less than 10,000, B, 10,000 to 50,000, C, 50 to 100,000, and D, more than 100,000. Give it a thought. If today you're going to start your own trading as a full-time trader, how much do you plan to start for as a trading capital? Now, there's no right or wrong. Don't worry about it. Just need to let me know what is your target of this. One sec, your answer is too many. That's why it's very hard for me to see. Your one sec. Okay, many of you B, you've selected A, B, C, only a handful selected D. Many within A, B. Started, many of you also selected C. But I would say that majority from a glance, I can say that majority of you selected A and B. Only a handful selected D and some of you selected C as well. Now, before I give you the answer, but I'm trying to give you a table for you to rethink about this question. Now, all the questions that I'm trying to ask this evening are very relevant because I want you to think before I give you the answer. Sometimes when you think, you digest it, you find that, really, this is some things that I might not thought it before. So this evening, take this opportunity to rethink some of the crucial questions that you should ask yourself before you embark as a full-time traders. Now, let me show you this particular table. Easy to say, I'm going to lead you through column by column. Let's say, for example, you're going to start with a capital of 10,000. Assuming your target monthly return of 5%, I think it's quite fair as a futures traders. If I'm going to put this, it's not too high, not too low as well. If you are thinking to generate a target monthly, this is not a yearly, but rather a monthly return of 5%, you're going to see with a starting capital of 10,000, your monthly profit is going to be 500 only. Now, my question to you, with 500 and without any income, if you're a full-time trader, are you able to sustain in the market for a longer term or not? Now, for example, if you're going to start with 50,000, your target monthly return is 5%. You're going to generate a monthly profit of 2,500. Maybe sufficient, maybe not. Let's say if you're going to start with 100,000, your monthly return is going to have 5%. You're going to have a monthly profit of 5,000. Maybe the majority of us is more than enough for us to cover our monthly commitments, our monthly expenses. And if you are preparing to start with 200,000 with 5%, your monthly profit is going to have 10,000. Now, my question to you, provided you are very satisfied with this 10,000 and you do not have any demand and you think that 10,000 is good enough for you to survive, then it's okay. But if you are thinking to have an increment like something like your job, because our job maybe yearly basis or every 3 years, maybe we are going to have some increments in terms of our salary. From that perspective, the next question that we need to ask ourselves is, how are we going to scale it up? If subsequently from 10,000, how are we going to scale it up to 20,000, to 30,000, etc.? And this particular table is very important, is because I want you to set your target in a more realistic basis. Because many of us, we might not be able to start with any capitals more than 6 digits. If you are not able to do that, you really need to rethink about it. Now, some of us, we might think it from the perspective that it's okay. I'm very lucky. I can start with even a small capital like 50,000. Every month, I will be able to generate 50% of return. But ask ourselves, are we able to really do it consistently or not? That's why the most important part is first thing, when you have insufficient capital, especially as a retail, this is the biggest challenge that stop you to become a full-time traders. This is the first thing that we really need to overcome before you can continue to solve the rest of the requirements. Now, and very important thing is, many of us, when we wanted to become a full-time traders, we are not honest to ourselves and we are not realistic in what we are expecting. Like for example, just now I told you that if we are going to start with 10,000, are we going to hope that every month we are going to generate 100% of return? And even you ask yourself, is this realistic or not? That's why we need to set our expectation in a realistic manner. For this evening, I need to be very honest to you because I hope that you can be lasting long in your trading journey. You don't rush in to become a full-time trader if you are not well prepared. Sooner or later, you get yourself well prepared already. Then only you move into become a full-time trader. You do not need to rush yourself. Now, this brings us to our second topic. I'm going to give you some option in this topic. Rather than all of us, you can see that even the first, I think the first two questions that I'm trying to ask, whether you are going to become a full-time traders, I think just now majority of us, we wanted to become a full-time traders because we have a very good imagination or a dream about a full-time traders. But I'm trying to give you other option. Try to rethink whether full-time traders is our only path or not, or are we having other paths to become before we becoming a full-time traders or to achieve the goal that we wanted to have. Now, before I move into the second topic, let me ask you this question. Why do you want to become a full-time trader? Now, the first option is to build your wealth. You want to accumulate your wealth, you want to generate income. The second option is you want to have the freedom. For example, like some of you saying from financial perspective, or even from your time perspective, or even your own time, because you're going to become your own boss, you can master your own time, you can manage your own time. Or number three, you really want to become a full-time trader because that should be your career. You wanted to become a full-time trader itself. So these are the three options. If your option is number A, just type in A. If your option is B, just type in B. And if your option is C, you can just type in C. Let me see your answer. Every time I try to, because the screen is very limited, I try to take out the chat box, but because of the incoming chat, I'm not able to adjust the chat box itself, but it's okay. Let me see. I would say that through first glance, majority B, some C, some A, but I would say majority B. Okay, let me answer the first option, which is majority of you are already chosen, which is freedom. I just want to highlight to you, this freedom is not what you think, that great of a freedom that you are going to have. Now, compared to your full-time job or compared to your employed, if you are being employed, you are going to have more freedom. But if you're a full-time trader, a lot of things will occupy your time, and the freedom that you think of might not be the freedom that you are expecting. So I would say that freedom as a full-time trader is quite limited. Subsequent topics, I will explain about this particular part. But if your concept is to build your wealth, now, building your wealth doesn't mean that you need to become a full-time trader before you can build your wealth. As a part-time trader, you can also build your wealth as well. Because at the end of the day, many of us, we just want more money. Am I correct? Definitely. We are in this industry, we need to admit that money might be something that we really prioritize. So when it comes to money, you can generate your money through a lot of methods. It doesn't mean that you must become a full-time trader. That's why for these particular topics, I'm going to give you some other option for you to rethink about it. And the last part, if definitely I saw that some of you also selected number C, your career growth. If you really have the passion and interest to become a full-time trader, then you can go with it, because nothing to do or nothing wrong to become a full-time trader as well. So for these particular topics, we are going to focus in terms of A and C as one of the option, because B, sooner or later, we are going to cover in other topics for you to understand better. Now, we have two paths for you to select. It doesn't mean that we only have one direction, which is we need to become a full-time trader to entitle whatever things that we want. For example, we want to generate more money, we want to build wealth, etc. But building wealth doesn't mean that you need to be a full-time trader, because as a part-time trader, you're able to build wealth as well. Now, these are the options. You can choose to become trading as a career, or you can choose trading to build your wealth. So we do not really need to focus specifically on this career part, but rather let us give ourselves an option. Either we can go with career, or we can start with wealth and eventually only move to career. And also the third option, we can go forever, trading to build your wealth. Now look at this. If you choose to trading as a career, these are the three main categories, which I'm going to cover in details at the subsequent topic, the last topic of it. But right now, just a quick run through. You have three main categories. One is a full-time independent traders. You trade using your own money. The second one is proprietary traders, prop traders. And the third one is institutional traders. But if you can still remember from the initial the starting of these topics, I already highlighted the context that we are going to cover. We're not going to cover those coming from institutional traders, because a bit different, mainly is because if you're going to cover for hedgers, arbitrages, traders, it will be very lengthy for the topics itself. So our main focus will be the first two, full-time independent traders and also proprietary traders. Now, second option is trading to build your wealth. If you look at trading to build your wealth, you're going to see that they have a lot of advantages. For example, the capital needed will be lower because if you're going to start as a full-time traders, you are going to rely your profit or your income mainly coming from trading itself only to cover all your expenses. But if you are having your full-time job, at the same time, part-time, you're doing your trading, your capital required will be lower because you do not need to generate the necessary income. And this also lead to what we call as your income pressure is relatively lower because your full-time job is going to cover your income required. Your full-time job is going to help you to cover this. And any losses from your trading itself, you can top up using your full-time job or your full-time salary itself, coming from that income. So definitely your income pressure will be lower. And when your income pressure is lower, definitely your emotional stress will be lower because you do not need to rely on your trading profit to cover your monthly fixed expenses, etc. That's why these are all the main key points for you if you are trading to build your wealth. So in short, I'm going to cover this in this particular table, but I'm not going to go in details because it's too lengthy for me to run through. I strongly encourage you to take a photo. Later, you can read it through by yourself, or you can screenshot as well, and I will explain to you. You can take a photo or you can screenshot, and later you can read it through. I just run through a bit with you. Now, the first one, from trading as a career, meaning that I'm looking that you're going to, as a full-time traders, the pros is you have more screen time. And when you have more screen time, definitely you're going to have more trading opportunity. For example, if your system triggered 20 times of trading signal per day, if you're having your full-time job, you might miss some of your trades because of your commitment for this full-time job. For example, you need to attend a meeting, you need to see some of your clients, or you need to have some discussion, or some out of these 20 trades, maybe you miss some of your trades. Definitely some of the trading opportunities that you are going to miss it. And with that, the more you trade, the more opportunity. Okay, I'm so sorry, because somehow my internet disconnected. Right now I'm using my mobile data. I'm not quite sure whether it will last or not. I used to use Time, which Time is quite stable, but recently I do not know what is happening. But anyhow, right now, are you all able to see my slides? Are you all able to hear my voice or not? See my slides, you're able to hear my voice. Can you please type in the chat box, yes? Okay, very good. I'm so sorry about this. Let me continue. So just now, I already covered about trading as a career, full-time trading part. Now the next part is about the cons of trading as a full-time traders, which is meaning that it's trading as a career. You're going to see that you have inconsistent in your income. For example, many of those traders, if you're attached to a prop firm, or even you're a local participant, which you're trading by your own money, you do not have an income. They don't provide you with a basic salary, for example. So you're going to see that your income is inconsistent, definitely, because fully rely on your trading profit. And you're going to suffer high pressure as well. Definitely, when your income is inconsistent, you're going to suffer high pressure. And definitely, you have the risk of burnout as well. When you have a lot of stress, this is definitely unavoidable. But looking at trading to build your wealth, as a part-time, meaning we are looking at part-time itself. The pros is you are going without, what we are going to say that is you do not have financial pressure. You are not going to suffer any financial pressure because your income or your monthly expenses that you require will be covered by your full-time job. So you do not have any financial pressure. And with that, you are going to have a lower stress, definitely, and you are going to have greater flexibility to experience. Meaning while you are trading, you can spend most of your time as a part-time job to do a lot of your testing, whether your trading strategies make sense or not, whether your trading system runs well or not, whether your trading psychologies make sense in this particular case or not. You can have a lot of testing before you can conclude that this is something that is related to you and this is the training system that you want, for example. In terms of the cons is you definitely have limited time because this is only your part-time job, and you are going to have a slower progress because the time that you're going to spend in terms of trading compared to those full-time traders is less. It's like, I give you a layman perspective. If today you are a Grab driver, if you are a full-time Grab driver, for example, one day you are going to go with 20 trips. But as a part-time Grab drivers, maybe per day I'm only going for 4 trips. So if you're going to compare my side for 4 trips compared to a person that's having 20 trips, the road that the person know, the full-time Grab drivers will be better compared to me. This is definitely. That's why you're going to see that your progress will be slower, but and you're going to see that you have a lot of distraction as well because it's just your part-time job. You still need to focus mainly in terms of your full-time job as well. But this is not a definite answer to it, but it's some things that you can take it as a guidance. Now, so which path is right for you? If you're going to look at whether you're going to choose to trading as a career, which what we mean is your full-time job, or trading to build your wealth, because eventually if your target is just to generate profit, it doesn't mean that you need to go for full-time traders. You can go with the target trading to build your wealth, which is a part-time job. So which one should you choose? No one can answer on behalf of you. You are the one can only select. Now, but I'm going to give you some guidance for you to select by yourself or make your own decision. The first, it depends on your personal goal. Like just now, some of you selected that I really hope to become a full-time trader. It must be my career because I have the interest, I have the passion, and I really like, and I know that I can become a very good full-time trader, for example. Then if this is your personal goal, then you can go with it. Now, the second areas that you need to look at is your risk appetite. And the last mile is your financial situation. This all I'm going to cover in the subsequent topic. So we need to look at it whether we have the ability or not. For number 2 and number 3, it's not what we can choose. Rather, is based on our current situation, are we able to have this option or not? Which subsequently I'm going to cover, and you really need to rethink about it. Now, this brings us to our third topics, 5 key requirements for going full-time as a trader. Now, these 5 requirements is the minimum requirement, not the maximum requirement, meaning that these 5 key requirements you must fulfill before going as a full-time trader. It serves like a checklist for you before you wanted to convert yourself to become a full-time trader. Now, before I start with this topic, let me ask you a question. If you were to go full-time into trading next month, are you 100% ready financially, mentally, and also skill-wise? Option number one, yes, I'm confident and fully prepared. 2, maybe I still have a few gaps to work on. And 3, no, I'm far from ready, but I'm learning. Now, which one is your current stage? Come share with me. Okay, I can see that glance is majority selected option 2. Some selected option 3. Those who selected option 3, you should give yourself a big hand applause. You are very honest. It's okay. Even you're far, you start to learn something, it's okay. I would say the majority selected 2. Maybe one only selected number 1. For those who selected number 1, you're ready. It's okay. Meaning that you can start to look to convert yourself to become a full-time trader. I really need to congratulate you. And for those who are in the middle, it's okay. At least from these 5 requirements, get to know what are the few gaps that you need to work on. So let's start with all the 5 requirements you must meet before embarking on your full-time trading journey. Now, number 1 is your financial commitments. Later, I'm going to show you what are the financial commitments that you need to have before embarking to become a full-time traders. What kind of startup funds that we are looking at, what kind of amount that you need to prepare yourself. Number 3, your interest and passion. Please do not underestimate point number 3. Very important, and later I'll explain to you. And number 4 is your trading experience. Your trading experience is important as well. And number 5 is your consistent return. Is it we need to generate consistent return on monthly basis or not? So let's start with the first requirement, financial commitments. Now, when it comes to financial commitments, number 1, before we become a full-time traders, first thing, before I go with the first point, let me explain to you what is this financial commitments. Now, in a layman perspective, we can categorize these financial commitments. Another layman words to replace it would be your expenses, your monthly fixed expenses. Like, for example, you need to, every month when you get a salary, you need to pay your housing loan, you need to pay your car loan, you need to pay for your children education, you need to pay it to your wife or your parents' pocket money, for example. You need to set up for your own retirement as well, etc. These are all the fixed financial commitments that we are requiring for monthly basis. Now, the first part, before you become a full-time trader, or before even you embark to become a full-time trader, you need to keep your fixed expenses as low as possible. I repeat, try to keep your monthly expenses as low as possible. I give you an example. If currently your monthly expenses is 2,000, compare to a person, their monthly commitment is 20,000. Now, let me ask you a question. For you to generate a consistent return of 2,000, is it easy or not? I would say rather is something easily to achieve or something at least achievable. But if I'm going to ask you to generate a monthly consistent return of 20,000, this might not be something that is workable for you. Am I correct? And for you to consistently generating the 20,000 might be a big challenge to you. So first thing, for you to survive long, if you are going to convert yourself to become full-time traders, first thing, you must keep your monthly expenses as low as possible, because this will prolong your journey as a full-time traders. So this is the first part. Now, second part, please do not hope that you can rely to cover your monthly expenses using your trading profit. I repeat, please do not rely on your trading profit to cover your monthly expenses. That's a no-no, because like previously, the topics I already covered, your profit is inconsistent. There's no way for us to consistently generating monthly profit. Sometimes you might be suffering 3 months consecutive losses. So if you're going to rely on your profit to cover your monthly fixed commitment, there's no way. Now, the last part is, this is a must. It's one of the points that is a must. You must have a savings to survive 12 to 24 months. Meaning, for example, if your monthly fixed expenses is 2,000, If you're going to prepare 24 months, meaning you need to have 48,000 in your saving. And this is on top of your starting capital for trading. This is just your saving. Why? Definitely the longer you can save, it will be better. Meaning if you can keep up to 36 months or even 48 months, it will be better. You know why? Because this will help you to go through your learning curve and you're able to sustain in the trading environment, and you can prove it to yourself that trading as a career is a pathway for you. That's why the more you can save, it will help you to prolong your trading journey itself. Because sometimes we need 1 to 2 months, 1 to 2 years, or even 1 to 3 years for you to become a successful traders. So this is the first part. The second requirement is a startup funds, meaning you're going to start as a traders. You need these startup funds or your initial capital. Now, when you set up these startup funds, first thing you must remember is never borrow to become your startup fund. Many of the traders make this mistake because once you start to borrow, you have the pressure because you know that you cannot lose the money. You cannot suffer any losses because the point that you suffer losses, there's no way for you to return the money. This will affect your performance when it comes to trading, because from trading psychology perspective, you already have the pressure to start with it. It's very hard for you to perform, especially perform well when it comes to trading. So this is definitely a no-no. Remember, never borrow money as your startup funds for your trading. Now, second, for you to start this capital requirement, this is on top, I repeat, this is on top of the first requirement, meaning besides saving for 12 to 24 months, that's not for emergency fund. Normal, from financial planning perspective, your emergency funds, you just need to prepare 3 to 6 months, right? But when it comes to trading, it's definitely slightly different because your trading journey might need to be prolonged. That's why you need to prepare at least 12 to 24 months. But when it comes to this capital requirement, this is on top of your saving. You need to carve out another portion for your capital requirement. And how much do you need to prepare for this capital? It depends on your target return and risk profile. Still remember that particular table, the previous slides that I showed it to you? It depends what kind of target return that you wanted to generate. Then you reverse to calculate what kind of capital that you need to prepare. Now, the third requirement, this is related to your interest and passion. Please do not underestimate about this interest and passion, because trading itself is a tough job. I think you definitely agree with me if you're currently trading. Trading itself, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of things that we need to overcome. If you do not have the interest and passion, there's no way for you to last long in trading environment. That's why you must have this kind of interest and passion, so that whenever you face with any problems or any challenges, you have the solution to overcome it, and you have the knowledge, or you are able to overcome it. And these are some of the core questions that you can ask yourself. First, do you like the job scope and lifestyle as a trader? Basically, like for example, you do not have social life, you're only contained within the four walls by yourself, etc. So these are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Day in, day out, you're doing, for example, analysis, you're doing back testing, you're building your trading system, you're reading the market itself, you're reading news related to trading or investing. Are these all the job scope that you like? Now, the next question, do you like what you are doing as a trader? Every morning, you need to wake up at 7 or 8 o'clock to cover all the news that is happening for US market and also Europe market. At night, maybe after your trading, you still need to do a lot of evaluation. You need to relook into your trades. Are there any problems or not? That's why, just now remember I told you that a lot of us thought that as a full-time traders, we have a lot of freedom. But if you want to become a successful future full-time traders, then you're going to see that your freedom is not some things that you think of. That's why these are all the core questions that you need to ask yourself when it comes to your interest and passion. You can also take a photo, and before you embark to become a full-time trader, you can check these all requirements. Number 4, when it comes to trading experience, if you ask me if a beginners can you become a full-time trader or not, personally my advice is I don't encourage you to start directly as a full-time trader. Rather, you can start as a part-time. Then once you're able to generate consistent return, or you're able to cover your full-time job, then only you convert to become a full-time trader. Because experience is very important. Like for example, if you wanted to start to become a full-time Grab driver, even I took a lot of Grabs, and many of the Grab drivers share with me, they say that you need to have some strategies so that you can increase your daily income by not doing more job. In fact, many of them share with me, and some of them also say that the best parts that they can earn is through jobs, like for example, going to the airport. And how do they generate or able to get more job within a day to go to the airport, etc. So if you do not have skills, if you do not have experience, you do not know, and blindly you become a Grab driver, it is very costly. Some of them, even after one day, at the end of the day, you notice that you did not make any income from the Grab driving itself, because you're going to pay your petrol, you're going to pay your car maintenance, etc. So trading experience is a must, and you can see that I put a brackets on two years of trading experience. The reason behind is because some of us, our 2 years of trading experience is more than those who are trading 20 years, or even some of them, their 2 months trading experience is more than those who are trading 2 years, because of the exposure itself, because of the number of trades that you have done, your market sensors, etc. So to me, this is a bracket. You must have trading experience, that's definitely, but this is just a guidance. Now, besides that, second point, definitely I no need to cover anything. You need to have core knowledge, unavoidable. If you want to become successful in anything, definitely we need to have a knowledge. And many of us thought that education is not important. Education is important, especially we need to make a decision, because education and knowledge will help us to make a correct decision, especially when it comes to trading itself. So this I'm going to cover in the subsequent topic, then I will go into details. Now, the last requirement is your consistent return. A consistent return, I wouldn't define on monthly basis, but I rather define it even not on yearly basis, but rather you pull it through, like for example, 5 to 10 years. Are you able to generate average yearly return that is considered as consistent? So in terms of from that perspective, you must be able, from long-term perspective, once you average it out, you must be able to cover monthly fixed. The point number 1. So if your monthly expenses is lower, then you have less pressure to cover or generate the kind of profit to cover your monthly expenses. And second part, very important, is you must have the ability to scale your profit as well. Like just now, I show you the table. If right now you're able to generate 10,000 with your limited capital, how are you going to progress from the 10,000 itself? This one is a bit hard, honestly speaking, for retail because of your limited capital. That's the reason why just now, based on the topic 2, I'm trying to give you another option. You do not need to become a full-time trader, but you can start the part-time traders. Then only you convert yourself. Get yourself well prepared with all the requirements that I already highlighted from number 1 to number 5. Then only you convert yourself to become a full-time trader. You do not need to rush. Now, these are the top 5 deadly mistakes most startup traders face. Later, take a photo, because these are all the common mistakes. And many of them couldn't survive because of these 5 mistakes. Number 1, insufficient backup funds and startup capital. Many of the startup traders, basically they cannot continue as a full-time traders in less than 3 months time. And majority of them falls under these categories. Because when you start to prepare your backup funds, when you start to prepare your capitals, you do not know. You thought that very small capital, you can start. You do not need backup funds because you have the intention that, and you dream that when you started with your trading, you're going to profit well. Every month, you're going to consistently generating returns. But the inconvenient truth is this is not the case. Now, the second deadly mistake is you allow your losses getting out of hand, meaning you don't do your risk management, you don't cut loss, etc. And when you allow your losses getting out of hands, meaning this is going to take up majority of your capital. Your balance of the capital, it doesn't help you to sustain in the market. So the first two are the top deadly mistake many of the startup traders face. So please avoid moving into these categories. I would say that more than 90% couldn't survive through 3 months as a full-time traders. If you can survive through after 6 months, that is considered minority. Now, number 3, your mental and emotional health. Many of us, once you become full-time traders, you're going to see that you do not have social life. If you have stress, pressure, you do not know who to talk to as well. Am I having connection issue again? Are you able to hear me? Yes? Okay, good to go. Because just now there's a pop-out again. Right now, I'm so worried about it. Okay, thanks a lot. I'm so sorry about it. And number 4, this lead from number 3, it leads to number 4, emotional management and problem solving. When it comes to trading, a lot of problems that we need to solve. And you're going to see that problems is unavoidable. It is okay for us to have a problem, but we must have the ability to solve the problem. But the truth is, many of the traders, they dare not solve problems because a lot of problems, meaning you need to have selection. You need to choose between, for example, A, B, C, which is your path. And many of us dare not choose the path. That's why problem solving skill when it comes to trading is very important. And the last one, which is I already highlight, you need to have the interest in trading. If not, at the end of the day, you'll find trading very boring. If your only goal when it comes to trading is to make profit, there's no way for you to sustain in the market. So you must have the interest in trading to help you to prolong your trading life. And basically, to be very honest, once you become a full-time traders, right, there's no such thing called as retirement because you're going to trade all the times, because even you're 80 years old, 90 years old, and you can see even Warren Buffett, over 90 years old, he's still doing investing and trading as well. Now, these are the 5 must-do to survive in the market. Let me run through very fast. So make sure that you have sufficient backup funds and startup capital. Just now I already highlighted to you, 12 to 24 months. Then you need to have a sufficient startup capital based on the returns that you are targeting. So let's say 50,000, 100,000 or 200,000. The second, you need to have a good work ethics. Now, many of us thought that we become our own boss. I can wake up very late. But when it comes to trading, you need to have a good work ethics because you know that even without supervision, you need to wake up early, prepare before your trading, during your trading, and even after your trading. You need a lot of evaluation to see whether you can perfect that particular traits or what can you modify so that tomorrow when you trade, you can generate a better performance. You need to have self-discipline even without supervision from other people. No one's going to push you. No one's going to tell you what you need to do. Number 3, you need to find a sweet spot to balance your life and also your work. Because when you're unable to separate your work environment and also a life environment, it's very difficult for you to have a work-life balance. So we're trying to find a sweet spot to balance it, even you are a full-time traders. And number 4 is definitely your emotional intelligence and problem-solving skills that I already covered many times. And the last one is your interest and passion for trading. You can take a photo. These are the 5 must-do to enable you to survive in the market. Now, this moves us to number 4, key knowledge and skill for professional trading. This is not a topic that I'm going to go in details because it's a very wide topic. If we are going to go into details for all the topics or the knowledge or the skill set that you need to equip yourself with, generally, in conclusion, I just want to highlight Malaysia is preparing for you all the series of webinars and online workshop. There are the skills and knowledge that you need to equip yourself with. That's the simplest statements that I need to make with. That's why I do join all the webinars and online workshop sessions so that you can learn from different traders, you can learn from different speakers, you can learn from different trainers in those areas that they are master in. So when it comes to skills and knowledge, we separated into one is your hard skill, which is your technical knowledge and training system. How do you build your training system? And within your training system itself is like your technical analysis, your fundamental analysis, your risk management, how to maximize your profit, how to minimize your losses, your optimization, your rules, your training strategies, etc. So these are all categorized under hard skill perspective. And in terms of soft skill, those that you can't see, that is what we categorize as your mindset, your training psychology. This is the second levels that you need to equip yourself as well. This all training mindset, right? It's not easy for you to learn, but you need to spend some time to learn. And basically, the more you well equip yourself with your hard skills, you can solve majority of your soft skill part as well. I repeat, if you equip yourself better in terms of your hard skill, majority of your soft skills side can be solved as well. So when it comes to soft skill, it's like your decision making. Like what I said, when it comes to trading, I saw many of the traders, they dare not make a decision, especially when the market is moving. For example, during the recent downturn, rethink about your scenario. You ask yourself, do you dare to add more position or not? Do you know what you are doing? Especially if you're trading in stocks, when the market is dropping, do you dare to add more position or you start to sell? What is the correct move? These are all the decision making that you need to go with. Then the attention to details, whether you are able to attend to details. When it comes to trading, attention to details is very important. And are you able to see the bigger picture? For example, short-term market volatility is definitely unavoidable. So are we able to look at a bigger picture so that what we need to do is based on this bigger picture itself? Then you are able to do a self-reflection or not? You see your evaluation when it comes to trading. Do you know how to reflect? Do you know how to evaluate? And do you know how to overcome it? Your self-control, your discipline, everything. Do you have in place even without any supervision? And you want to push you as a full-time traders, are you able to do that or not? Now, the next part, the last topics that we are going to cover is the career path and opportunity in trading. Like when I start with this topic itself, I already covered that the context that we are going to refer mainly in terms of futures, because this is the Let's Learn Futures webinar series. So we are going to cover from futures perspective, first thing. And we are going to look at only those traders who are able to make the trading decision by themselves, because many of the traders, especially when they are attaching with the institutional, they are not able to make the buy or sell call with their own decision. So the context, we are going to restrict mainly in futures and mainly for speculators and mainly for those who are able to make the trading decision. Now, let's look at this career path and opportunity in trading. These are all under Bursa Malaysia. So you can see, I'm going to send you the link in the short while in the chat box. You can copy the link and later you can have a look. For example, in Malaysia, you can choose to become an independent trader. these independent traders, you can look at local participant here. Can you see that? You can submit to become a local participant. Later, I'm going to give you the link. You can go and read through. They have some requirements before you can become a local participant. So in Malaysia context, if you want to become an independent trader, this is what we call as a local participant, meaning you use your own money. You don't invest other people's money. You use your own money, you trade your own money, then you can become a local participant. And becoming this local participant, you can enjoy a lot of perks. Like for example, your trading commission will there's a lot of rebates in terms of your commission as well. You can some of your profit generated can be tax exempted as well. These are all legal for you to exempt those tax. I'm so sorry. So these are all we call it as a local participant. Now, second option that you can choose is also a professional traders. Like for example, in Malaysia context is this list of associate participant. We have many of the prop trading firm in Malaysia. You can go and see the list of those prop trading, meaning you can attach yourself to become a traders. But definitely they have certain ways for them to select traders as well, and you can go and check. Many of them, they require a lot of traders as well. You can check with them whether they wanted to recruit any traders as well. So this is the list of associate participants, or these professional traders is the categories that you're using other people's money, not your own money. It sounds very glamour, you can use other people's monies, but definitely there are a lot of qualification or a lot of criteria that you need to fulfill to become these professional traders. Both independent traders and professional traders, they have their own pros and cons. And another one is your registered representative. This is attached to a brokers, then you can become a registered representative to go for some discretionary trades. Now, the link, let me send the link in the chat box, and you can copy and later you can go and check it out. I repeat, I already sent the link in the chat box. You can go copy the link and later you can go and check it out. These are all the categories provided by Bursa Malaysia. So you can see which categories you want to put yourself in, and you just prepare accordingly. So this is the last part that I'm going to cover, practical steps to become a professional trader. Definitely the first part will start with education. No way. If you're going to tell me that you're going to learn all your trading via TikTok, social media, I would say that this is no, because many of the things that you learn via social media is too surface. You do not really understand. All the education that you need to acquire must be in depth. So don't learn things that from surface perspective. And education is important for you to be able to make decision when required. Because without education, you are not able to make decision, especially when it comes to trading, a lot of decision making that you need to do. Once you have the education, you find a funding method. Like just now I highlight to you, whether you want to self-fund it, meaning you want to become a local participant, you're trading full-time, but using your own money. This gives you a lot of freedom, I would say, but there's a lot of pressure as well. The second method is you're going to use other people's money. You can go and select a prop trading firm to attach with them. But this prop trading firm, just now there's a list. I think in Malaysia we have near to 30 prop trading firm. You can go and select any of the prop trading firm and see whether they are going to recruit any new traders or not. You can check with them, and you're going to start with your trading path. And from there, this is not the end. You still need to go through your self-improvement. So the last two steps, you need to continue to recycle it from trading. You need to do some self-improvement, evaluate your trading, then improve yourself, see what you can do so that your trading, your profit can be scaled up. Like for example, we have 5 stages in trading. First stages, you're going to suffer huge losses. Then you move to second stages. Once you can improve yourself, you're going to suffer less losses. and you're going to move to the third stage, which is you're going to break even. Then you move to the fourth stage, you're going to have what we call as a small profit, and you move to the fifth stage, you're going to have a huge profit. So you need to scale yourself. And we are not going to end with huge profit. Subsequently, there's another challenge is how are we going to scale our profit from the huge profit itself? Not only generating consistent return, but are you able to scale your profit as well? Now, trading as a professional traders, these are some of the qualifications that you can take it as a reference, just a general rules, but it's not the ultimate one, meaning your education background, mostly they are taking from business, accounting, finance. Many of my previous they came from engineering background. And even many of them, they took a very huge pay cut at the age of 40 or even more than that. They changed their career path from engineering into trading industry. So I see many of my friends also doing that. So this is just a general rules in terms of your qualification, and in terms of your education that you need, definitely you need to have those trading related, futures trading related knowledge. And when it comes to trades in a way, a simple layman terms is like your characteristics. Who are suitable to become a professional traders? We need to understand not all of us suitable to become a professional traders. And if you already give it a try and we couldn't make it, don't be demotivated. You can still do it as a part-time job, because like what we know, all of us, we have our own strength, we have our own weaknesses. At least we give ourselves a try. But eventually, if we still couldn't become a professional traders, it's okay. You can trade as a part-time, because some of our characters itself, when we are being born, we already do not have that kind of characters. So we do not need to force ourselves. And some of the characters that you need to have, like for example, you have a high stress tolerance and emotional resilience. For example, if you're suffering continuous losses, are you able to bounce back or not? These are the common scenarios. If today you have a lot of stress, do you know how to distress it or not? How is it? Are you all able to see my slides? Because my side is saying that I have network issue. Yes, okay, very good. Because my side is turning orange. Orange meaning it's down. Okay, very good. Let's continue with the last part. Like just now I already highlighted to you, then you need to have a strong self-discipline. It's definitely like what I say, if you are a trader, basically you're working alone, you have a lonely path. Try to know how to overcome it, as you must able to control yourself as well. So this brings us to the last page. I'm going to do a summary, 4 key takeaway points for today's session. First, full-time trading is not a shortcut to easy money. Please, this is the main misconception by many of us because of all the what we call as all the social media hypes. But trust me, as a traders, as a full-time traders, it doesn't matter as a full-time traders or part-time traders, easy money is not your direction. We really need to put a lot of our hard work, into it to generate the easy money. Now, second part is scaling income as a full-time traders is extremely difficult without sufficient capital. So to start with a small capital, because eventually you might be able to survive, but for you to scale up is very hard. So you must have sufficient capital to start with it. And number 3, you do not need to go full-time to be successful. Even we can see many part-time traders, they are very successful as well. So I'm trying to give you another alternative. It doesn't mean that I don't encourage you to become a full-time trader. This is not the correct interpretation. But I'm trying to say that you have many options. You can choose to become a full-time trader. That's your first option. You can choose to become a part-time trader. That's the second option. You can choose the third option is you start with a part-time trading, then you move to a full-time. It's okay. So you don't need to force yourself to go directly as a full-time trader. And number 4, the last one is 5 critical requirements must be met before going full-time. This is a must, all 5 of it. So you need to prepare your financial commitments, you need to have your startup funds, you need to have your interest and passion, your trading experience, and also consistent returns. So this comes to the end of my presentation for this evening. I hope that it really benefit you, especially if you have the direction to become a full-time trader. I hope that today's topics give you some other ideas of how you can choose or give you some alternative and give you some guidance become a full-time trader. Now, we are going to continue with the Q&A session. I just repeat, if you want to ask any question, you can click on the 3 dots. Then click on Slido and type in your question. I'm going to answer your question. Now, meanwhile, while waiting for your question, can you please do me a small favor? I just need your small favor because we're already covering more than one hour, 1.5 hours. Sorry, I passed time quite a lot, but I hope that you can give us some feedback. The only things that we require from you is please give us your feedback. Now, how can you give us a feedback? This feedback is very short. It just takes about 30 seconds to a minute of your time. First option is you can scan this QR code, then you can provide us with your feedback. And second option is in the chat box. Can you see the link? Our admin provided the link in the chat box. You can click on the link to provide us with your feedback. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to a minute. Please provide us with your feedback, and for those who have questions, you can start to send in the Slido. Last 20 seconds. Okay, for those already submitted your feedback form, I really appreciated that, and thanks for your contribution. And for those who are still submitting, you can continue to submit, but I need to cover some of the Q&A before we end the session. But because of time limitation, I would not able to cover all, but I try to select those questions that is relevant to today's session. Now, the first question is it better to trade part-time first or go all in full-time? Now, since the beginning of my topics, I already tried to tell you that you can start with part-time first while keeping your main income source, and this will give you time to at least test your trading strategies, build your skills, understand your trading psychology. So you can test it out, like for example, 6 months to 12 months. If you can generate your consistent return, then only you convert yourself to become full-time. And let me share with you previously, like what I mentioned to you, I have a lot of my ex-colleagues, many of them even converting from engineering or even doctor to become a full-time traders. And some of them at the age of 40, 45, then only they change their career path. Some of them, before they changing their career path, right, they are managerial levels. but they still decided to change the path by taking more than 50% of their pay cut. So this is definitely doable, meaning for you to change halfway through is definitely doable. And if you ask me personally, I strongly encourage you to start with part-time before going full-time. Now, second question, as you say, this is for futures alone, which means consistent income instruments like dividend yield stocks are not part of the conversation. Yes, for today, trade presentation, I exclude this particular part because this is a Leslie Futures webinar series, so I exclude it. If not, more things I need to cover in a way, then it's very difficult because if every parts that we are going to cover, every products that we are going to cover, it's very difficult to cover everything. How long does it typically take to become a consistent and profitable trader? If you ask me, minimum 1 to 3 years, at least you need to have to become a consistent and profitable traders. That's why some of us or some of you might need to take a longer time frame, even more than 3 years, because consistency itself doesn't come overnight. That's why it's very important for us to build at the initial stage as a part-time job. Then you learn, you expose yourself, you dedicate your practice, your education, you have your real market exposure, then only you become a full-time trader. How do I manage the emotional stress of inconsistent income? Generally, if you ask me, based on just now, remember during my presentation, the first thing that you can manage your emotional stress, one of the way is through your preparation of your funds. Still remember your saving, you need to save between 12 to 24 months as your emergency funds or your saving funds. This would reduce your emotional stress tremendously. And whenever you have a lot of losses, especially after continuous losses, you need to give yourself a break, because sometimes this break is necessary for you to recruit yourself and regain yourself so that when you trade for your next trade, you do not have that kind of emotional stress. Because under tremendous stress, we are not able to perform well when it comes to trading. Any mentorship programs? I think under Bursa Malaysia, they have a few as well, but basically, if you wanted to understand like all the skill sets, all the programs, right? Like what I say, even you can start with the webinar, Leslie Futures webinar series. This is one of the way for you to understand and equip yourself with the skill set. Because you can see that the Leslie Futures webinar series, we're going to have different, we are going to put on it many of the different speakers, many of them, they are traders as well, to share with you different topics, to share with you in different topics, different languages by different trainers as well. So these are the pathway that you can follow through. How do I build a trading track record if I'm trading my own money? You can still do that. In fact, some of the prop trading firm, before you become a trader, or even before they recruit you become a trader, they might go through your personal trading. So you need to do a recording. As a trader, you know that you need to record all your trades, and you can summarize this in maybe yearly perspective to ease the person to look at it. Or even you're doing some paper trading, you can also put it as one of the proof of your track record as well. So you still need to keep track of your trade. Are there associate participant prop trading firm? Am I correct? Just now the link given in the chat box, maybe when you asked, the link was not being given. The link given in the chat box, you can go through that particular link and you can see all the prop trading firm in Malaysia. If I'm not mistaken, we have about 30 or slightly less than 30. You can go through the list with the link itself and you can check with them. Is futures trading different from normal trading? Is futures trading different from normal trading? I'm not quite sure about this question. Put it this way, generally, every product itself, trading itself. It doesn't matter stocks, futures, bond. These are all different instruments. Definitely the characteristics will be different. Trading will be different as well. It's like we always tell people you cannot use your stock trading methods to apply in futures trading because they are two different things. Those tax, you need to check with your tax agent. I'm not in the position to advise you, but generally anything categorized as trading, you will need to pay the tax because that is your trading gain. So you need to pay the tax. But because this is an open class, you can check with the tax agent. They are in a better position to answer you. Many of you, the same question related to tax. Is automation good in futures trading? Yes, in a way, but this is a lengthy topics to discuss whether we require automation when it comes to futures trading or not. And another thing is also the cost. We need to balance between the cost and also your return. If you're not doing many trades, you do not need to automate it because automation requires some cost involved and the cost might be high as well. So in short, if you're asking me, if you're based on your trading system, your trading is not many. Let's say, for example, on average, every week only once. You don't really need automation. But in fact, you can go with semi-automation, meaning the system you build it, that is the automation part, but when it comes to execution, you also execute it by yourself. So basically, whatever I can cover, I already cover, but because of time limitation, let me end the session, the final part. Now, like what I mentioned to you, not only this Let's Learn Futures webinar series for today's session, upcoming, we still have many topics. Like just now, how do you manage your risk? Next week, we have another speaker covering mastery risk management in futures trading. So any topics that you are interested, you scan this QR code and register accordingly. Or else in the chat box, you can click on the link and you can register. So try to block your calendars so that you can attend the class. Now, once you click on the link, it is going to fall on our calendars. Just look at Tuesday because we are going to organize this on every Tuesday. Look at Tuesday and select the session that you would like to attend and register accordingly. Subsequently, you're going to receive the auto confirmation and you can save it in your calendar. Now, not only Let's Learn Futures to you Let's Learn Futures webinar series, just now, many of you are beginners or you're just about to kickstart in your trading, futures trading. I strongly encourage you to go and join this online workshop. Because this online workshop will really teach you how to start with your futures trading until you are able to trade your first contract. Because in this online workshop, you're going to have trading simulation, you're going to experience by yourself. How do you execute your trades and how do you execute your first futures contract as well. So the upcoming session will be on 17 May. We have morning and afternoon session. Each consists of 3 hours. We're going to hand-holding you from A to Z in terms of futures trading. So the workshop ones will be the complete guide for beginners to futures trading and trading simulation. And the workshop 2 will be how to create an effective futures trading plan and trading simulation. You can take a photo. I'm going to give you 2 seconds. You take a photo, you can share it with your friends as well. Because you know that some of your friends, they wanted to kickstart in futures trading. But when you start, if you start it in the wrong way, it is going to be very, very costly. So again, you can scan this QR code to register or else in the chat box, there's a link. Please click on the link to register. Now, once you click on the link, you search for Saturday because all the online workshop we are going to organize on a Saturday. You search on the Saturday and click to register. My personal advice is try to attend the first class, the complete guide for beginners to futures trading, before you attend the afternoon class, how to create your futures trading plan, because they are interrelated. Now, the last part, Bursa Malaysia also prepare these derivative trading simulators, meaning it's a trading simulation environment. You can go and do your trading simulation. You can access the bursamarketplace.com/mkt/DTS. And the last one is Bursa Academy is a one-stop e-learning center. You can learn all, or you can get all the information about everything related to trading and investing via this platform. You can go to bursaacademy.bursamarketplace.com, or else you can scan this QR code to access to it. So this brings us to the end of our session for this evening. I'm so sorry that it's running late. And thanks for your participation. And I hope that today's session really benefited you, especially in your journey to becoming full-time traders. And thanks a lot. And I'm going to see you in the near future. Take care and good night. Bye-bye.